Hey guys, let's get more news from Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. 3 Heat players who earned untouchable status, 3 who are expendable. The Miami Heat are yet again entering an off-season where critical decisions will have to be made. The Heat are coming off of a disappointing season, ending the year as the Eastern Conference 8th seed, and fell to the Boston Celtics 4-1 in the first round. There is no doubt that the structure of Miami's roster is very questionable. They are led by a 34-year-old veteran Jimmy Butler, who is coming off a disappointing 2023-24 campaign. Then the second option is a young star in Bam Adebayo, who is nearly 9 years younger than Butler. Outside of the tandem of Bam and Butler, the roster structure just seems to raise a plethora of questions. With young talents such as Jamie Jaquez Jr., 23 years old, and Nikola Jovic, 21 years old, then a 30-year-old Terry Rozier, the age timeline of the roster is sporadic. Now with rumors brewing of Jimmy Butler trades and Butler possibly wanting out of Miami if the Heat don't offer him a maximum extension, Pat Riley and company have a vital decision to make on how they should structure the roster to make their next run at the Larry O'Brien Championship Trophy. Here are players I believe have achieved untouchable status for the offseason. Jovic's improvement over the course of the second half of the season and the playoffs was truly impressive to observe. He is only 21 years old and will only get better. The Miami Heat drafted him with the 27th pick in the first round of the 2022 draft, knowing that he was raw talent and would have the potential to become a great player throughout their developmental system. He has already exceeded expectations for where his talent level was when the Heat first drafted him. During the 2023-24 regular season, Jovic averaged 7.7 ppg, 4.2 rpg, and shot 45.2% from the field, and 39.9% from behind the arc. Those are exceptional numbers for a player who was spending time in the G League throughout the first half of the season. In the playoff series against Boston, Jovic saw his minutes increase from 19.5 mpg to 25.6 mpg, due to the significant amount of injuries the Miami Heat suffered at the end of the season. He averaged 9.4 ppg, 6.6 rpg, 2 apg, and shot 40.9% from three-point range. Heat's Eric Spoelstra protege ideal head coach hire for Pistons. The Detroit Pistons made a tough but necessary decision when they removed head coach Monty Williams from his post. In leading the Pistons to 14-68 in 2023-24 and a near-historic 28-game losing streak, the former Coach of the Year performed far below expectations. If it was simply a matter of talent deficiency, he would likely still be in Detroit. However, Williams's decisions undermined the roster, with his hubris knocking the Pistons off track early in the season. Now, Detroit has the opportunity to rectify the decision they made last summer. This doesn't mean that they go back to Kevin Ollie, whose tenure as the Brooklyn Nets head coach reeked of favoritism. Their desire to hire African-American head coaches is admirable, but neither Jerry Stackhouse or Sam Cassell are the ideal head coaches for this group. Miami Heat assistant coach Quinn is though, and if they get him, they can probably keep most of their core together. With that said, although the Pistons will endeavor to normalize the spacing, they can't deny that their roster strengths that of the Heat's. In terms of the intangibles, Detroit's youngsters have demonstrated a lot of mental strength. They've handling adversity with maturity, keeping their heads held high. They don't yet exude toughness like the Heat, but they could with the right leadership. Ask Heat insiders who most embodies the team's culture, and Quinn is commonly the answer. One league source affectionately referred to Quinn as Eric Spoelstra's mini-me for his temperament and organizational skills. He's an emotionally stable leader who inspires confidence in players. Another luxury of hiring Quinn is that he can speak Cunningham's language and to what he sees as a former NBA point guard, knowing that he's being understood and vice versa. His experience as a point guard has also lended itself to his basketball IQ, with his tactics even lauded by his players. The Pistons' on-court product mirrors Miami's in myriad ways. Looking at the position groups, one can see the offensive similarities between Cade Cunningham and Jimmy Butler. Cunningham and Butler are jumbo-sized playmakers. They're volume scorers who can get buckets all over the court but are most efficient when attacking the teeth of the defense. There are also similarities between Jalen Duren and Bam Adebayo. Both are slightly undersized but uber-athletic centers who can impact the game as finishers and facilitators. If Detroit re-signs Simone Fontecchio, he becomes a foil for Duncan Robinson, both being three-point specialists with enough athleticism to attack hard closeouts. The key to their ability to match Miami's defense falls on Ausar Thompson and Quentin Grimes though. There are no guarantees that either or both will start. However, without a trade, the most feasible starting five for the Pistons entering 2024-25 may be Cunningham, Grimes, Thompson, Fontecchio, Duren. As for the position battles, Jaden Ivey's a streaky jump shooter who needs the ball and an inconsistent defender as well. As a result, he doesn't complement Cunningham as well as Grimes, a 3-and-D wing, does. Furthermore, he does offer a lot in a sixth-man role, especially with Cunningham's injury history. Isaiah Stewart offers better spacing than Thompson and his physical tools lend themselves to him being a solid defender. Yet, Thompson's a defensive event creator, more of a weapon than picket on the fence, which is what Stewart is. If Thompson comes into or leaves training camp with a much improved three-point stroke, his spot may be secured. Given his work ethic and the Pistons' decision to hire renowned shooting coach Fred Vinson, there's reason to believe he will. There is the chance that Detroit drafts G League Ignite forward Mattis Buzelis or Colorado swingman Cody Williams with the number 5 pick though. Both are impactful defenders, with Buzelis demonstrating a knack for weak side blocks and Williams a multi-positional defender with suffocating length. The question for Buzelis is the same for Thompson though, as he shot 26.1% from three with the Ignite after making 43.1% of his threes as a high school senior. Meanwhile, Williams made 41.5% of his three-point attempts. In any case, Thompson and Grimes are undoubtedly Detroit's best perimeter defenders. Indeed, they're among the best in the league. As a result, they'll spearhead the Pistons' mission to be a serious defensive team. Miami Heat, one-time NBA champion, make strong admission about playing in South Beach. The Miami Heat did not have a great conclusion to their 2023-24 NBA season, as they got knocked out of the playoffs in the first round by the Boston Celtics, who eventually won the league title. Still, it seems that veteran point guard Patty Mills would love to stay in South Beach and run it back with the Heat. Asked if a return to the Heat was a preference, the 2014 NBA champion with the San Antonio Spurs said, "I definitely hope so. Look," he said, "I've really appreciated my time here at the Heat, and have really come to understand what this organization is really about. And I've thoroughly enjoyed it, as well as learning a lot of things at the same time. Who knows what's going to happen? But I definitely tried to absorb as much as I could." Mills was scooped up by the Heat last March after getting waived by the Atlanta Hawks in late February. He appeared in only 13 games in the regular season with the Heat, averaging just 5.8 points and 1.5 assists in 16.4 minutes per contest. Including his time with the Hawks, the 2014 NBA champion averaged only 4.0 points, 1.1 rebounds, and 1.1 assists per 13.0 minutes through 32 games. Turning 36 years old this coming August, Mills doesn't seem to have much left in the tank, but he can still provide depth and security in the guard position. If the Heat end up retaining Mills, it should probably be on a cheap deal that can still attract takers in the event Miami decides to make him a trade asset ahead of the next deadline. And you fan, what do you think of the Patty Mills situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.